Show me love, make a change. Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. Show me light, show me love. Make a change. Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got.
Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my beautiful people. My song got cut off short, so I hope you see me on a good timing, but we already know with all the technical issues that happens in here sometimes, we just run with it, right? And that's the most important part. I'm excited to be here today. Oh my God, we have such an awesome show. Every time we talk about healing and wellness, I'm excited because that's really what life is all about. So share the broadcast with a friend, let them know we all need healing. And today, I'm going to stretch your mind a little bit about the idea of healing and kind of going out of, it's actually a continuance to the last show when I shared with you guys my personal journey with breast cancer. If you haven't seen it, you're more than welcome to it. We're still in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so go check that out, the episode. But I shared how my healing journey was more holistic than you would may be familiar with or know about, and how, I really took that journey as a gift. So today we're talking about spiritual healing, which some people might be skeptical about, but it's been proven time after time again, as you will be seeing from my incredible guest, a very inspirational author. I can't wait to introduce you guys to him, but also I will share from my own personal journey in the past 20 plus years different philosophies that I kind of learned and practiced, and helped me in my healing journey. The live chat is already alive. I'm sorry, I love it. I love the live. Yay, my Marav is here. Hayush and another Marav is here. I'm loving this. Halo is here. Hello, my beautiful Halo. And Joanne is here. Good morning, beautiful Joanne. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to see you guys. You know, excuse me. The thing about spiritual healing, let me just start by saying that the beings of light, okay, made however you would want to consider it. I look at it as higher divine light, okay? Divine light can only come to you and align with you when you are in a place of divinity. So when you're in fear, when you're in anxiety, in condemnation, in judgment, in depression, you can't experience them. They cannot come to you and align with you because it's not a frequency that they're familiar with. They're on a higher pure frequency, and they can only enter when you are in a place of healing, which means forgiveness, which means letting go, and things of that nature. So to me, that's kind of the root of spiritual healing, because in order to be able to heal and allow divine light within us, we have to apply what is needed in order to become a divine light within ourselves. So, living in forgiveness, and I spoke about that a few episodes ago, and letting go, which is really big as far as, keeping resentment will never help us. So, this is kind of like the basic of a spiritual healing. I want to say, just to mention real quick, many of you here that watch it, I'm Jewish. You see, I'm Israeli because you see a lot of Israeli audience in here or Hebrew comments. So I just want to say that my country, Israel, and the people of Gaza are starting to finally heal. The war is over. All of our alive hostages are back home. We are working on getting the hostages that were murdered in the in captivity to bring them home so the real healing can start. And that really means so much to that region in the Middle East because it's been going on for so long and it's been brutal. And I'm just grateful and I want to thank God for this moment that brought us here to this place where we can start healing and families from both sides can finally get some peace and, forgiveness or just truly healing of love and nurturing one another. So I'm just grateful for that. It's been an emotional week for all of us, everyone from that region. Trust me, it's been a whirlwind for us for the last 2 years. So I'm grateful, and I just wanted to share this gratitude and blessings to everybody, and lots of thank you to God and President Trump for making it happen and everybody that's involved. So that's that. And that's not politics, that's humanity for me. So that's for that. Let me see what Halo says. Can't wait to hear your guest. So excited. Same. Okay, so there are a few philosophies that I kind of learned in my life. Of course, like I said, I'm Jewish. So the main one for us for healing, and I can tell you that, is prayer. And prayers from the book of Psalms, which in Hebrew is called Tehillim. It's all the songs that King David wrote to God. And this is for us the most powerful book. It's in Christianity too, and in Judaism as well. Both of us really believe strongly in the power of healing through reading that book. I can tell you personally, I read from it every morning. We read from it whenever we need to. We read from it on our Shabbat, or we just read from it every time we feel the need to kind of get stronger within ourselves, find that moment of, strength, forgiveness, faith. That's the book we go to. That's big in the Jewish religion, and I know a lot in Christian religion also use this book. Um, in the Hindu religion, for example, they have many different lanes into spiritual healing. For them, the highest level of healing is nirvana, which means the spirit stops coming back because they believe in reincarnation. So nirvana means you did everything you needed to do in this life, in this physical realm, and there's no need for you to come back anymore. Now, I'll rewind for a second. Traumas are stressors, and we all go through traumas because we all been stressed in one way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be like a huge trauma like breast cancer or a car accident, right? We all go through things that, we felt like we weren't good enough, we felt guilty, unworthy, angry, arguments, many different things that will create stressors in our lives that are traumas. So the healing starts from that. And wellness is healing, and healing is wellness. They're, you can't separate those two, not in my opinion. That's why before we finishing this season of wellness, it was important for me to bring this subject here. So going back to the Hindu religion, they believe in many different ways into their healing and nirvana. One, they believe that poverty will give you that way because you are showing to God that you don't care about anything else. You dedicate yourself just to Him. So you don't need anything else but Him. I'm sure people here in the West will think that's insane. We have so much unity in here that being in poverty just to be one with God doesn't seem like a thing, but they're happy. Trust me, they're in poverty and they're very happy. Another way for them is yoga. I'm sure you're all familiar with yoga and meditation. That's their physical way of being with God and finding spiritual healing, right? To them, the spirit is what needs the healing, but the physical body is really the teacher to get to the healing and to nirvana. So that's another way that they see it. What else they have? I know basically they all believe in the same thing. There is a place that everybody, they basically for the last, I want to say 4,000 years, right? They've been burning fire there that really they never let it out, no matter what the weather is, no matter what's going on. Um, and they cremate bodies there. And they believe that if you die there, of course, now because I'm live, the brain is not working, so I can't remember the name, but it will come to me in a second. Hello, my friend Brega. Let me say hi to everybody. Love yoga, same. Um, I want to say Varanasi. Yeah, I had to look in my notes, but I know that. But that's what happens in live TV. They all believe that if you go to Varanasi and you die in Varanasi, it's automatic nirvana. And this is, I think, one of the most beautiful ways to see how your belief system can affect your healing because people are there happy, literally knowing that they're dying and they're happy. I remember hearing this story about this little boy. I think it was Tony Robbins that said that told that story about this little boy who was playing with a stick with like a little piece in the fire, and when they looked, they realized it was his grandfather's foot. But you would look at that boy and he's happy. And, there's no sorrow, there's no sadness there when it comes to death and life ending because they truly believe that if you die there, you're going to nirvana. So, this right here and this right here with the belief system and what we believe in and the meaning, I always talk to you about the meaning we give things can change everything for you in the way that you heal. Another one of Hindu ways is studying heavily the religious text. So that's kind of the Hindu religion. And again, I'm trying to speak and work on it and talk to you guys about it from, like a perspective of not really the religious, more of the teachings of it, but some of them you can really separate the two. But for me, because I believe in God and higher power, I believe that He created us all equal and healing can come in many different ways. So I always learn about different ways. That's why I loved bringing my guest here today because with his book that he wrote and the things that he speaks about, to me, they make sense. Some of them do, some of them I still like listening and learning and reading because be open to everything and attached to nothing. I think I said that quote in here 1,000 times. And it really is a quote that I try to live by every single day because when we're not attached to a certain understanding or a certain perspective of life, or just one thing. And it's not that it's not okay to, believe in your religion and follow your religion and do whatever works for you, whatever brings peace to your heart and healing to your spirit, body, mind, and soul. That's what you should follow. For me, I just love always to learn about other perspective, other philosophies, other religions, just to see what's they're doing and excuse me, and how does it work for them in their life. Another philosophy that I've learned is Taoism. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. I have a quote for you, of course. Let me see, where is this quote? So, Taoism is the philosophy, it was written by Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was, I think, excuse me, 6th century, born in the 6th century, probably like 500 some years before Jesus was even born. Um, he wrote the Tao Te Ching, which is stands for living in the way. And the way is basically harmony, humility, um, you know, um, peacefulness, letting go. That's really what Taoism is based all about. When you live in that way, you will reach healing constantly. There are 81 verses to the Tao Te Ching. I highly recommend reading it. There are millions of audiobooks, even free on YouTube. Let me show you. Wait, I'll put that on so you can see the spelling of it. No, you're a little too tiny. There you go. We're going to leave this here for now. So this is how you spell the Tao Te Ching. And that's the now again, Chinese people, there are many different streams. There are Christians, there are Buddhists, but some of them mix and match what their beliefs are and follow different philosophies. There are Christians who follow the Tao Te Ching as well. So that's kind of the beauty of spiritual healing. When you kind of separate it from religion, you are able to practice it in different and practice different philosophies because it doesn't necessarily go against your religious belief, right? And religion and spirituality are two different things. Nobody's forcing anything of you, you finding your way. So let me get back to that quote that I wanted to show you guys. One who understands others has knowledge. One who understands himself has wisdom. That's from verse 33 in the Tao Te Ching. And I think that's like the key to healing, right? Because when we understand ourselves, and you know, this show is all about self awareness and our journey into the self. So when we understand ourselves, really, that's where healing can start occurring because a lot of times triggers will come up in our lives and we'll try to avoid them, right? Like even this generation, it's kind of like insane to me. Like they want trigger warning on everything. No, the life doesn't give you a trigger warning. Sometimes you're just gonna get triggered. The key is to not avoid it, but rather face it so you can heal it and move on. So don't be scared when you're triggered for different things. You know, there's a I'm sure you all know PTSD, post traumatic syndrome disorder, but there's also PTSG, which is post traumatic syndrome growth, right? That's post traumatic growth, which means from your trauma, you actually grow. And most of us can do that if we are in that belief of this spiritual healing, which give us that perspective that everything happens for us and not against us. And, nothing is trying to break us. It's here to encourage us into growth. And when we experience physical pain, when we experience emotional pain, those things, because something can start as just a little thing, right? And sadness will turn into depression, and depression means there's hopelessness, and now we're already into what the mainstream will call mental illness. And you'll see when I'll talk to my guest about how he healed people even from that through prayer. So there are many ways to understand this spiritual healing. I love Taoism because each verse, they're very short verses, but they're very powerful. Basic one verse, which was so monumental to me in my life, was that every force creates counterforce. Now you would say, wow, what a revelation, right? But when you actually take that and try to see it with everything you do in your life, you start understanding that even in the little things, for me, for example, as a mother, it helped me tremendously because getting into it with my kids or bickering about things, or they offer some kind of resistance and I, instead of letting go, get back to it, no, and try to tell them my way, which we try to do, of course, as parents, but just keeping that in mind, that every force creates counterforce, and I'm trying to eliminate that, and I'm trying to create peacefulness, because healing is peace from within to me, especially spiritual healing. When we have peace within, that comes with forgiveness and love and all those beautiful energetic merits and feelings, that's when we heal. And so for me, that short verse helped me tremendously just to keep it in the back of my mind. I literally stopped offering force every time when I realized it's not something I want to deal with. I want to see Hila says, "Oh yeah, me too, for sure. We all yoga here fans. Dr. Dai book is amazing. Yep, that's my book recommendation for you guys. One of them today. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Dr. Dyer. Dr. Dyer studied the Tao for a whole year. He basically took a week for every verse, meditated on it, studied it, and then wrote an essay on it. His explanation for the Tao Te Ching is incredible because he simplifies it to a place where you can study it, because obviously studying indigenous Chinese philosophy could be the easiest thing for us. But the way he put it was incredible. I highly recommend that book. Again, if you Google on YouTube the Tao Te Ching, Dr. Dyer, you'll some of his things will come up. I'm gonna bring my guest in a second, and then after I speak to him, I'm going to share with you a Hawaiian philosophy called the Ho'oponopono. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's incredible. Um, this doctor, by not even touching any of the patient, healed a whole psych ward. And if that sounds unbelievably crazy to you guys, trust me, when you read the story, you're going to be dumbfounded. But it's so inspiring. There's a special prayer. Again, we're in prayers. That you say, it's a mantra and a prayer that he says that helps with the healing. I'm going to get to that after we'll speak to my guest. I've studied Ho'oponopono for a good year. I use that prayer every single day in my life too. It's incredible. Before I'm going to introduce you my guest, I want to share with you guys some of my studying and writing and journaling when I studied the Tao Te Ching. Just so you understand what it means and how you can reach healing from a spiritual level. And because again, how many times did I say that talked about the mind body connection? Again, just last week when we spoke about my breast cancer journey, it's the mind body connection, right? Something, some kind of a resentment, some kind of anger, something that is not resolved yet, that is sitting there and creating a physical disease. So when you heal the soul, there is no reason for diseases to appear. So by studying those things and trying to learn about them and teaching yourself and practicing and journaling and meditating, you can help heal so many different parts of you from within, that your body will not experience any pain. So this is just personal writings from my own journals while I was studying the Tao Te Ching. Focus on understanding yourself instead of blaming others. That's a good one, right? Shift my mental energy to allow myself to be with what I'm feeling. No blame, not for others or myself. Simply be, simply be. Look within and understand my ways. No one has the power to make me uneasy without my consent. I'm unwilling to grant that authority to this person right now, but I am willing to consciously experience these emotions without calling them wrong or needing to chase them away. And that's what I was talking about before with the triggers. We don't need to chase any feeling away. We got to deal with it. We got to see ourselves through it. Focus on understanding myself, taking responsibility on how I choose to respond and react or perceive the power that others have over me. And the last little thing I wrote is pay attention to how often I try to use a verbal control to tell others on how they should be instead of choosing silence. That's a big one for me. Because I was always that one that knew better, right? Because I do this and because I did that. And then at some point, you have to understand that, yeah, you might know a lot. One, it doesn't mean you know better. And second, it's not always about what you say, it's how you say it. So I wanted to keep myself constantly conscious about how I am trying to constantly create the situation and tell people what they need to do and what they want don't need to do. There are still to this day sometimes with my sisters or my really close friends when the passionate me comes out and I'm like, just tell her this and this and tell her you would do this and this. And they're like, yeah, yeah, Lulu, that's fine. I kind of know what to say. And I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. We just was so passionate that you want to help people, but I don't need to tell them what to do. There's no reason for me to control the situation. And if you feel me on that, or you know what I'm talking about, and of course, if you experience spiritual healing in your life, share that with me. What kind of things that you study? What kind of spiritual ways you embrace into your life for healing? Is prayer something big in your life? Joanne says, I'm doing a 20-day Ho'oponopono challenge. Oh, amazing. That's wonderful. Oh my God, I love Ho'oponopono. It changed my life. Working on forgiveness. Yep, that is a big one. That is definitely a big one. I'm proud of you, Joanne. Good luck, girl. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so I want to bring my incredible guest. Um, you know, his he wrote the Book of Prayer, which that's his book that helped hundreds of people heal from physical or mental diseases. His journey, he was actually a business executive, but when the higher calling calls, you can't say no. You just have to go with it. He actually comes from 7 generations of medical doctors, but his healing is a little different. It's spiritually based approach to healing. Incredible man. He also has a nonprofit that works and teaches others. I don't want to butcher the name. I remembered it 2 seconds ago. Get Radical Faith Ministries. That's what it is. Thank God for my notes, right? Because me and live TV, let me tell you. But in my conversation with him, I was just intrigued. Again, like I said, I love learning about new things. And then he was kind enough to give me his book, and I worked through part of those prayers. And I can tell you, it did its thing. It really did its thing. So I felt that part with the triggers and acceptance. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Brega. Yeah, man. Triggers, they'll get us, but we don't avoid them. That's the key to healing. Just let them come, see yourself through them, how you feel, what you're thinking about, even what body parts, like if you get shrunk up, if you get angry, like what does it bring? So you'll know exactly what it pushed, and it'll be easier to heal it. So I appreciate you for sharing that. So without further ado, let me bring my guest, Mr. Beatty Carmichael. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for being here, sir. I so appreciate you for taking the time to be part of this show and share all your wisdom with our audience.
Well, thank you. I actually learned a lot with your introduction, your monologue. So thank you for that.
Oh, well, I'm excited. Thanks. So I hope I introduced you well. If there's anything you would like to add, please feel free. But I know from our conversation that really you weren't living that life that was. I mean, you were always had. I know. Religion or faith, I would say,
Hmm.
probably better, in your life, but then you had that higher calling that you started working with people, and then it kind of stopped, and in order to make it bigger, so why don't you take us through your journey of how it all started, and what really is the prayer of freedom?
Yeah, I'd love to. And as I go along, I want to connect some dots for people too, because so I came up in the Christian church, and we use the Old Testament and the New Testament. But what's interesting, if you look at the all the different religions and faiths and processes out there, they're all pointing in the same direction. They're all pointing to a higher power, a divine creator of some sort. They're all pointing to the difference between good and bad, high vibration, good, low vibration, bad. Or some people use the word light and darkness. And the Bible uses good and sin. Okay, it's the same thing. Sin in the Bible is low vibration and darkness, and good deeds is high vibration and light. What's really interesting as I get into my story, Lulu-Lee, is I didn't understand that, right? A lot of times, especially, I don't know how it is in the Jewish faith, but in the Christian faith, it's like Christian faith is the only thing that's true and everything is completely false. As I have left that part of the church and have become much more spiritually wise and understanding, there's a lot of truths. You see all these truths, and I think everyone's moving to the same direction. And I want to preface with that because I may speak. I'll try to speak in more the general spiritual terms, but if any of the kind of the Bible terms come out, just understand that it's all speaking in the same direction. So what happened with me is this higher power, this divine power, I just call him by the name God, started to put an impression on me, a deep driving urge, simply to go pray for people for healing and allow him to heal. Okay. And so literally I went out and I was praying for people. I'd go out to Walmart and I'd just walk up to people that look like they might need some help in some sort of health way. And I'd just say, I'm out praying for people. Is there anything I can pray for you on? And I got a lot of people to say yes. And I'm not kidding you. This is really amazing. I would pray. I've seen a lot of joint pain. And by the way, let me also define prayer. Prayer, if you look at us, we are a spiritual being and we're in an earthly body. Okay. This other realm out here is a spiritual realm. And we don't really understand much of it, except we know, sort of like the Hindus, that the spiritual realm drives what happens in the earthly realm. And if we do good things happen to us. If we do bad things tend to happen to us. And all prayer is speaking into this spiritual realm. Okay, that's really all it is, whether you're speaking to a divine higher power or to some other entity that may be there. So with me, I actually went out to pray for people, and I would speak to their sicknesses like joint pain or arthritis or glaucoma or hernia, whatever it was, recognizing that the majority of the sicknesses and illnesses that we deal with actually have a spiritual, I call it a spiritual root. Something happened in the spiritual side of our life that's now manifesting in a low vibration issue within our life, because what happened in the spiritual side was a low vibration action of mine. I have unforgiveness for someone. I hurt someone. I steal something from someone. I do something that's a low vibration type of activity, and it manifests in a low vibration reaction in my being. And so I would go and I would pray against that. I would command that to leave, and it would disappear. I saw, I remember one guy with glaucoma, and I didn't know anything about glaucoma at this time. I said, well, what is glaucoma? He said, well, simple way to explain it. He said, imagine you park a car underneath a tree for 2 years, and now that windshield is all dirty. He said, when I look out of my left eye, it's like looking through that dirty windshield for 2 years. That's been under the tree for 2 years. And every time I open and close my eyelids, it's like I've got sandpaper all in there, and it's really painful. So then I prayed for him, and I commanded the glaucoma to leave. And I said, check it out and tell me what's going on. He said, it's all gone. I don't have any sandpaper in my eye. And he's looking, and he goes like this, and I can see just as clear out of my left eye as I can in my right eye. And so I started to see things like that. Then, about 4 years ago, it all disappeared. I'd go and command those things out and nothing would happen. I go, "Oh my gosh, what just happened?" Like I lost this supernatural gift. I was a super.
Right.
And that's when I went back to God and I was asking him questions. And by the way, this divine power out there actually is a conscious being. This is, I think, where we get like a universal consciousness concept because we see all these things going on and we create our own terms to try to articulate what it really is. And so there's this consciousness that's out there that actually interacts with us if we know how to engage. And so I engaged with him as I do frequently. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, I took that special gifting away from you, the gifting to command these dark energy issues out of people's lives." I said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Because I want you now to learn how to do it in a way that you can teach others to do the same." So that's what I started to embark on. I'd understood enough about what was happening in the spiritual realm with these these low vibration type of activities that we do. Let's talk about unforgiveness. So unforgiveness is when we do not release someone from our heart because of something they did against us. And the
Right.
problem with unforgiveness is it's like a boomerang. It hurts us more than it hurts
But
them.
then,
It
yes.
doesn't hit them, it comes back and hits us directly. Let me share just a couple of stories just on unforgiveness. Now, there is a special technique that I find that is needed many of the times to undo these low vibration activities like unforgiveness, to actually remove the low vibration impact of it. There's a process, and that's actually what chapter 12 in my book is all about. There's a very in-depth process in how do you speak these words into the spiritual realm so it actually undoes that and removes that issue from our life. But 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks now, I forget, I was in Spain and I was at this event. My daughter lives in Spain, and there was a visitor there. And every time you talk to him, he would cup his right hand behind his right ear and lean in. You could tell he doesn't hear really well. So I was asking him a story. He said about 10 years ago, he's a musician, loves music. Somebody wanted to steal that from his life. And so they created an explosion that blew both of his eardrums out. He's
Oh,
completely deaf in his left ear, and he's like 90% deaf in his right ear, and he can't, unless he really leans in, he can't hear. And so I led him in this process of asking this divine power, this higher power, to reveal what type of what type of low vibration activity he did that could have manifested in this problem, right? Because you go back to karma in a very simplistic sense. If you do bad things are going to happen to you. If you do good things will happen to you. And so I realized that most likely there were some bad things that he did that actually led into this explosion, this guy doing this explosion. And so the question was, what can we do to undo those bad things so that the eardrums that are a physical blowing out could actually be fully restored? And there were three things that came up. Two of them were tied to unforgiveness. And
oh,
so, in a period of 20 minutes, now he's been deaf for 10 years. The doctors say there's no cure. When they look at it, the eardrums are physically blown out. But in 20 minutes, I can click in both ears and he can hear equally as well. He doesn't need to cup anymore.
that's
And I remember
incredible.
I saw him on the roadway the next day, and it was about maybe 100 feet away. Say, "Hey, Dominic, how's it going?" And he heard me perfectly well. "Hey, Beatty, good to see you." And he's out there walking with his wife. It's on this old spiritual trail called the El Camino de Santiago there in Spain.
Oh, I love that. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's just one thing about unforgiveness. I remember another lady, she had neuropathy in her legs, uh,
Mhm.
extreme pain for 15 years. And went through the same process with her. And instantly, all the pain left when she released someone that hurt her from 15 years ago. So
Wow.
this is just unforgiveness. When we start to look at these low vibration things that we do, I've identified about 18 categories of things. Unforgiveness is number one. It's the biggest one. But there are a
Yes.
lot of other things out there that they create all kinds of, and I'm going to use my term, all kinds of torments in our life. We have
Yes.
aches and pains. We have persistent sicknesses like allergies and asthma and COPD. We have mental issues like PTSD, anxiety, depression, things of that sort. But one of the things that's really cool, Lulu-Lee, I was sharing this before we got on the show in our pre-interview. I teach at an addiction recovery center for women. And these people have been abused, they've been molested, many of them been prostituted, they've been in and out of prison for years, and they just can't get free of this. And anytime you have someone that's in their lifestyle, there are all kinds of other issues. You have addictions to drugs, sex, pornography, alcohol. You have mental health issues, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, PTSD, borderline personality disorder, what we call DID, dissociated identity disorder. You have all kinds of physical pain. You have migraines. You have sinus headaches. You have rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia, joint pain, muscle pain, and you have all kinds of everything else. So as I was putting my book together, chapter 12 is an entire worksheet. So it's what I call a step-by-step guide. If you can paint by numbers, you can go through chapter 12 and get free spiritually. So I gave them chapter 12 of my book, and I said, I want to statistically measure how effective is this when someone does it entirely on their own. So I actually paid them. I said, if you will do this, then I'll pay you $20 at the end of the month. And in an addiction recovery center, you have no money. So everyone said, oh, I wanted to do that. I was teaching 3 classes at the time, average of 15 or 20 ladies each class. So I gave each of them chapter 12, and I had them make a written list of every issue that they were currently dealing with, their addictions, their mental issues, their physical issues, their pain issues, and grade them on a 0 to 10 scale, with 10 being worse. And then at the end of the month, for those who went through the process, I had them regrade their list. 87% of those ladies, everything on their list had gone to a 0.
Oh.
A 0. That's how effective this is. And I want to read you one story. This is actually a thank you note from one of these ladies named Catherine. And this is a typical response. This isn't a this is the best of the best. This is average. This is what actually happens. And this is what she said in her thank you note. She said, I want to thank you for the prayer of freedom. It has changed my life. Growing up, my relationship with my mom was really tough. She was abusive, and she and my stepdad would drink and get into lots of fights. And by the time I was in 7th grade, she said she didn't want anything to do with me and left. Huge abandonment for a little girl.
Yes.
That's when life began spiraling downward. By 16 years old, I was having sex with lots of boys and started getting into drugs. That was just over 10 years ago. Before doing this prayer, I was addicted to heroin and fentanyl and meth. I had a lot of worry and stress and anxiety. On a scale of 1 to 10, they were probably an 8. I've had constant allergies and sinus headaches for years, migraines 5 out of 7 days a week, and a super heavy feeling like I was carrying around an overweight backpack every day. Life has really been difficult, but the prayer of freedom and turning off these low vibration activities I did changed everything. Literally everything is gone. No more sinus issues, all gone. No more headaches and migraines, all gone. No more heaviness, it's all gone. No more anxiety or stress or worries. Literally on a scale of 1 to 10, they've all gone to 0. Even my addictions have gone down to 0. I don't want drugs anymore. I have no urges for them anymore. And even the thought of any drug disgusts me. It's all gone. And
It's incredible.
what I started to understand, Lulu-Lee, and one of the skill sets that this divine power has given me is to see patterns in my mind's eye, if that makes sense. And I can see what other people don't, that's not readily seen by them. And what I started to see is there are patterns of dark, low vibration activities that create low vibration issues in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And it is across the board in all of the different religions and faiths. And this is why Every single religion and every single faith has some element of understanding that if you do something bad usually happens to you. But sometimes it's not you can't really connect the dot. I do this thing bad 20 years ago, and now this thing bad has been going on in my life. We don't
And
connect the dots.
And I think too, a lot of times, what the idea that we have of what bad is, like you said, for example, nobody would think that not forgiving somebody is
Right.
bad because I have the right to not forgive them. They did me wrong, you know? So it's not necessarily bad in the way that we would consider bad. It's just really creating some kind of a negative emotion that will have a negative, resolution to it, or kind of a continuance action that comes from our action, our initial action, that will create that bad ripple effect,
Yes.
if you may.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anything that takes away peace is bad,
that's it.
right?
That's it.
Anything that is not out of love and pure love is bad. And so
That's
what
it.
you have is these gradients. If we take peace and love at on a 0 to 10, 10 being perfect, anytime we're acting at a level of 3 or even 5 or 7 out of 10, then it's bad. It's just a 7 is not as bad as a 3 activity.
Right.
But the perfect is 10. Perfect love, perfect peace. So anything less than that is this low. We're getting from high vibration to low
Low
vibration.
vibration.
Anytime we're anywhere in this low vibration, that's the thing I call bad. And what I started to see was just simply the pattern and testing a process that successfully, consistently works to turn off that pattern. And I've done a lot of shows with all kinds of energy healers, with all kinds of vibration healers, and the healing arts of all the different religions. And what was really interesting with most of these shows, the host had some issue in their life that their healing method couldn't resolve. And in about 5 minutes, by taking them through this process, it instantly disappeared, time after time
Mhm.
after time. And so it just shows that if you get down to the foundational process, then you can have something that's consistent in making those things go away. And that's what my
Incredible.
book, The Prayer of Freedom, that's what chapter 12 is. It's that step-by-step process that guides you through it.
Yeah, I want to put the book actually here on the screen so everybody can see it, and also a QR code with the link. Let me take us off real quick. And this is the incredible book that Beatty was grateful and gracious enough to give it to me. You guys can scan this QR code. It will take you straight to his YouTube channel. And over there, there is a way for you to purchase the book. I'm also going to put the website. I already put it before, but you can see the website as well. And if you visit the website,
Yeah, let
you'll
me share
find
some.
them.
This is really cool. So
Yeah,
if you look just above me, as you're putting the website on the screen, just above me is the prayerfreedombook.com. If you
perfect.
go there, slide about halfway down, you'll actually see live demonstrations of this. And you'll see people with extreme anxiety for 26 years instantly disappear. You'll hear the guy go, it's going down, it's a 3, it's a 0, it's gone. You'll see someone with neuropathy. You'll see someone with chronic pain. In fact, one of these guys, he was a football player 20 plus years ago, has this chronic pain in his knee. He's a energy healer, hypnotist healer, galactic energy master expert in the healing arts. And he couldn't get rid of this thing. And in like 3 or 4 minutes, it's gone. And his expression says it all. He's, oh my gosh, I have no, I mean, he couldn't believe it. And
And the beauty is that it's a lasting change
it's
too.
a,
It's not,
yeah,
it's not, it doesn't disappear after a couple of days. They really come back and tell you how long it's been staying with them. Nothing has changed. They still feel great, which I think is just remarkable.
it really is. So, and this is the point I want to really underscore. A lot of time we understand concepts and we try to apply a concept, and it works sometimes and sometimes temporary. Like what you say, you get rid of pain and it comes back.
Yeah.
But when you understand the foundational principle behind it, then not only does it leave now, but it stays gone. And that's what what I share in my book, the chapter 12, the step by step guide, gets it out and it gives you a daily prayer that you can do that literally keeps it from ever coming back. And on my website, there's a link to buy now. It'll take you directly to the Amazon page to get it, because if you just type in the Prayer of Freedom, you may miss the book because there are a lot of books by that title. So that's why I recommend going to the prayerfreedombook.com and watching some of this stuff. It's really fascinating seeing it happen in action.
Fascinating. I can tell you, while researching for the show and after talking to you and looking at different things, I was really excited and I even tried some of it. I didn't get the chance to do the full thing, which I'm definitely still gonna go do. But even the little bit that I tried, the understanding of the releasing of things and trying to look at, you know, the past and what was holding me back, or what were, the sins that I may have done or didn't do. And for me, my Bible is the Ten Commandments. So I was just trying to look, in consideration to that, like what from the Ten Commandments I may have not fulfilled in any time. And again, there was no guilt there. I
Right.
wasn't beating myself up about it. I was just observing so I can see what might be the root to the neck pain, the back pain, or the things that I felt like I'm suffering from. So it was an incredible experience, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful you took the calling, and you did all that. Have you ever, real quick, right before we finish, have you ever wondered or asked God why you, or how come He chose you for that mission?
I did, and he didn't give me a clear answer.
Not as clear as the prayer.
Yeah, he made the prayer really clear,
Yeah,
but he didn't give this one. You made a comment earlier about nirvana and reaching that higher level to where you don't have to keep coming back in life. I want to make
right.
one comment towards that.
Please.
When you learn to let go of all of these low vibration things that you do and what causes them, it allows you to live at this level higher up
Right.
to where you actually live in a state of nirvana.
Nirvana.
And
Yep.
I've seen so many people go from this state of just low vibration, everything in their life, to this perfect peace, perfect love, to where they actually love people that they never loved before in a way that they've never done it before. So even
Yeah.
to help get you to that nirvana state, this gets you there.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Thank you so much, Betty. I truly appreciate your time and your gift to this world and being a vessel for such an incredible healing process to so many. It really is incredible. I encourage everybody to get the book and try the Prayer of Freedom. Even if you're a skeptic, give it a try. What can happen? Only good things can happen, right? So I thank you for your time and for sharing all of this. And you're always welcome in the show. If you ever want to share more, please just let me know. The door is always open.
Well, thank you. I will do that. I'll take you up on that.
All right, amazing. And if anybody wants to still share in the comments anything for Beatty, he's still gonna be here backstage and he can see your comments. Thanks again, Beatty. I appreciate you. Many blessings.
Thank you, Lulu-Lee. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. What an incredible story and an incredible man. And to be chosen like that to heal in such level and actually receive it so clearly to the point that you can actually give people a process, a detailed process, how to eliminate pain and eliminate those low vibrational things, and help you reach higher feelings and higher nirvana even while you still here on this physical realm. Just absolutely love it. Everybody's saying thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Let me see. Tamara says, I definitely do believe that the power of prayer is a pretty magnificent thing. Absolutely. I agree. Halo says, wow, that's really amazing. It really is. And I'm telling you guys, like, I started doing it and I already felt it. Even just the idea of like writing things, part of the process, like you have to like think about those things and what do you feel like was holding you back, or what is the negativity or negative feelings that you're carrying, or like we said, the bad things we did. And just writing it down is already starting that. It's cathartic, it's starting the process of healing right there and then. And then saying the prayer, it truly is incredible. We have a few minutes left, so I want to share with you guys about the Ho'oponopono, like I said. So that is, and again, just like Betty said, it always comes back to peace. Peace is love, love is peace, and those two together are just a healing state of mind, body, soul, and spirit. So Ho'oponopono is the same thing. There is a book called Zero Limits, and the Ho'oponopono philosophy, the Hawaiian philosophy, is really, it's been, I guess, brought to the masses by Dr. Ho Len. This man, like I said before, healed a whole um, um, psych ward, sorry, got stuck, without even seeing the patients physically. What he does, and the Ho'oponopono prayer is what I want to share with you guys. It's really four different sayings, four different words that you say. Let me find it. Where is it? Um, there we go. And these are the sayings. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Some people say you can say it in any order. I say it in that order, and I see a lot of people were recommendations to say the prayer saying it in that order. I think it makes sense the most to say it in that order, and I'm going to actually share with you guys. And this is the book. Um, I received it from my friend Noya. I want to say 15 years ago, maybe even more. I told you guys I've been on this journey for a long time, and this is kind of from the book itself what does the Ho'oponopono process is, right? The Ho'oponopono is a process of repentance. And just like Betty said, we're trying to repent our sins, call it bad vibration, call it whatever you want. It's the things that we don't want staying with us in our system. Um, Forgiveness and transmutions is a petition to love, to void and replace toxic energy with itself. Love accomplishes this by flowing through the mind, beginning with the spiritual mind, which he calls the super consciousness, which is basically right here. Okay? It then continues its flow through the intellectual mind, the conscious mind, freeing it of thinking energies. Finally, it moves into the emotional mind, which is the subconscious, voiding thoughts of toxic emotions and filling them with itself. That's by Dr. Ihalekela Holeng. I practiced like literally every day while I was reading this book just to say his name. But this is really the point of this prayer. You're cleansing the energies from your super consciousness to your regular to your emotional. Now, the whole thing about Ho'oponopono is owning your reality. We have to take the in charge of our reality. And I'm going to get into more of that in season 3 when we're going to talk about manifesting. But I have to see myself in everyone, and I see everyone within me. Meaning, if I go down the street now, I'm driving, and I see a car accident, when I say that prayer, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm clearing that experience from my own system, because if I see it and if it's in my reality, that means somewhere subconsciously, because like Beatty said, that collective conscious mind, right? Because it's part of my reality, that means it is somewhere within me too. And if I don't want to manifest that accident into my life, I'm clearing it already. Dr. Holland sat for days and days in an office in that psych ward, and all he did was read the files of every patient and said the prayer of the Ho'oponopono, just clearing it from his mind and his body, his superconscious, mind conscious, and emotional subconscious. and just kept clearing it by telling himself that, those actions that they did, everything that they went through could be part of mine. I am taking full responsibility for this reality. If I'm part of it, then it's part of my life as well. So he literally just said the prayer for himself, not even for them. The prayer is for himself to clear it from his system. And that's how he healed them, because while clearing it from him, you clear it from them. I know it sounds mind boggling, but when you read this book, and again, Zero Limits, um, I believe in Hebrew, if you guys are in Israel, it's called Efes Migbalot, and just just read it. It's incredible. And like I said, I practice Ho'oponopono every single day. It really is a place of forgiveness, like Joanne said, and it's a place that gives you peace on levels that I can't even explain. It's just that knowing that this is all part of me and I'm taking responsibility for my life. That psych ward was closed. When I tell you it was a place where people walked, like the nurses walked with their backs to the wall, they were scared to turn their back to the patients for something to happen to them. That's how bad the patients that were there were, that's like the situations. Everybody had such bad, experiences from before that led them to that psych ward. It was gray, it was terrible, it was, scary for a lot of the nurses there. They would come and they wouldn't even know if they'd be able to go back home alive at the end of the day. And the whole place changed, and it changed little by little. Like, it started with people smiling, people more calm, then painting the walls even in a different color to just make it more livelihood. But then little by little, all of them didn't need to be there anymore. Some got fully released and recovered, and some got released into a very low level, home that takes care of their, issues, but they were not high, risk patients anymore. So the power of prayer is real, my beautiful people. May it be the prayer of forgiveness. Like we saw from our guest, may it be practicing the 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching, may be praying from the Psalms book, Tehillim, every single day, or just doing the Ho'oponopono prayer. Prayer is real, prayer is strong, and it's something that is beautiful and can help you in your spiritual healing journey. That will definitely help you in your physical healing journey. I want to see a few comments in here right real quick before we go. Yeah, Elle says, so great, was able to catch just a few minutes and so grateful for it. Well, go back to the rerun, sister. And I'm gonna, this is really love the book. You introduced me to it. Oh yeah, see, I introduced it to like everybody I knew. When I was reading it, I bought it for everybody. I told everybody about it. I appreciated this today. Definitely came right on time. Beautiful. I'm so grateful, Brega. I'm very happy that you got benefit and value and it resonated with you. Another healing show. Amazing you are. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you for these words. What is that sentence again? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Let me see if it's still here. There we go. So that's the prayer, the Ho'oponopono prayer. And read the book, Melav, Efes Migbalot. I'll send it to you if you want. Just hit me up and remind me, and I'll send you. But Zero Limits, and read Beatty's book. Order it on Amazon, girl. It's life changing. Truly, it really is such an incredible book. So freeing to let go. It really is. There's nothing to hold on to. Like we said before, I said it in my forgiveness show. Beatty said it today. Unforgiveness just hurt us. Remember, I gave you guys the analogy about the snake. The snake bite is not what kills us. It's the venom that stays in the body. That's really what kills us. So, it's not what happened that made everything horrible. It's the fact that we can't let go and stay with that resentment that keeps giving us those bad vibrations and bad feelings. I think we can all agree today was the interview I was silent the most with, because I usually speak so much. But I really just enjoy listening to him because he was so powerful. So I'm grateful for this show for all of us. You know, prayer is powerful, healing is powerful, spiritual healing is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. I wanted to remind you guys that, you know, you can connect with me here and on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's grow this beautiful inspirational beauties community. We're just trying to do good. We're trying to heal the world and make it a better place, as Michael Jackson used to say. So let's do it. Let's do it. Find me here. Find me on social media. Connect with me. I'm constantly sharing inspiration and beauty. So I hope to see you here more. I had a little poem for you guys. Let me see, because we're at the hour mark. I'm gonna read it real quick. Just something. Wait, where are we? Where are we? Here we are. That is The Whispers of the Poetic Soul. And I am going to read you a quick one that I wrote while I was in my forgiveness and prayer and healing journey. Let's see where we are. Is it here? Okay. The ego or the soul, both are calling. Who will you hear more? The ego is never kind. Those things you dislike most about yourself, it will help you dig and find. The soul is always pure. Those things you dislike most about yourself, it will hug with warmth and cure. There's always a choice. You'll know the best one when you listen to your inner voice. So look within and do the work. Never forget, healing takes time. Connect to your higher self. It is by whom you and your journey are defined. That's it. Connect to your higher self, my beautiful people. God, spirit, energy, universal wisdom, whatever you want to call it. Connect to it. Connect to your higher self. Elevate your vibration and stick to healing. I hope this show today gave you value. I hope you can, you know, this will be part of your healing journey and contribute to it. I appreciate you all for being here today. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, beautiful. And yeah, you know, don't forget, be kind. My other friend right there, be kind, be kind, be kind to one another. I think kindness is one of the biggest healing energies that can give you peace within. So I appreciate you for giving me the one commodity that you can never get back, which is your time. And I know you always come for the beauty, but you stay for the breakthrough. I hope you had some breakthroughs today. I'll see you guys next week. Next week, we got some wellness through fashion, my beautiful people. So it's going to be an exciting one. I'll see you. What is it? The 15th? The 22? The 22? Right. Love you all. Many blessings. Thanks for being here. Keep praying and keep healing. Later.
Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love.